It's Monday. Monday. Anybody else like Mondays? I do, but I don't have a traditional job, and that's probably why. But it's the Monday after Christmas, which to me is probably my favorite Monday. It's the day where we've taken all the Christmas stuff down and we can get our house back into the swing of real life, because it's been in the holiday spirit for 2 months and it's time for things to get real again. But hello, how are you? It's Monday. It's time for my live. I did skip last Monday. Just a little bit too overwhelming last Monday with Christmas and trying to get everything done in time. And these take a while, which took time away from other things. But man, oh man, good morning. I'm going to kind of treat this one like my Monday, first Monday of the month. And I'm going to make some announcements of some changes coming for the next year. And one of them is with Beauty Society. And I'm going to give you all my reasons on my whys, because I feel like I hate when people sugarcoat things. I like full transparency, and so we're going to share about it. I'm not leaving Beauty Society. I still love all their stuff, but I am changing some things. But this is not one of them. Upgrade is my favorite. If you got the Advent, was it the Advent or was it the Beauty Box? One of those two, you got to get a travel size of these. It came in a little tube like this stuff. I keep this little travel one in here because it's great for repair if you have, I don't know, a lot of, like some people have a lot of healing breakouts. If you get cystic acne, this stuff is good. All right, so let's do our makeup. I can't decide. I'm going to talk about Beauty Society, so we're going to use some Beauty Society today. And I don't know why I'm dressed like a little old lady, but I am. I've got a lot of work to do today. Christmas felt different this year. I don't know if it's just the holidays, because even Thanksgiving felt different. This is dirty, dirty, dirty hair. It was a nice Christmas. It was nice. I just felt so overwhelmed. But I don't know. It was just different. You know, not every year can be the winning year. Last year was amazing. And you can't expect, you know, amazing all the time. So I feel like this year was our off year. I think today I'm finally getting all my stuff out of here and back where it needs to go. I will say, arranging, it's funny the way everybody's like, I want to redecorate my whole house taking down Christmas, because you move your furniture around sometimes to make everything fit. And then you kind of think, oh, like for me, I had to move 2 chairs together, and I'm like, oh, maybe a couch would be better there, but who's just gonna go buy a couch? I don't know. Me? I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna do the makeup. All right, I'm gonna use this spatula. I have been breakout city from bad eating. After I get done with all my work stuff, I'm going to be hopping on the treadmill with makeup on. But I'm going to start doing a little bit more work on me this year, and I'm starting before New Year's, so I'm not a statistic. You know? I told myself every day this weekend, last day, last day, tomorrow, new me. I said that 3 days in a row. Okay, I'm gonna get started. I use eyeshadow primer no matter what I'm using. I've been loving Beauty Society's eye candies, and it's gonna go along with me talking about changes with it. But I use Saint Makeup. Saint Makeup is my go-to ride or die. I love this stuff. I've been using it for 6 years. It's great. I've been sharing about it for 5. When you've got something good, you go with it, okay? So that being said, my skincare is Beauty Society, and skincare is such a personal thing, which is why I said I would never sell it. But then my skin responded to a skincare, and I was like, maybe this could be somebody else's wow moment. So yeah, but I'm gonna use Sengen's Shadow Sense. There's a link for everything in the description here, so you can get anything that I'm using. And I'm gonna try to stay on topic today. So if you have questions about what I'm using, throw them in the comments. And yeah, so I'm going to use the Oval Fluff Brush by Beauty Society. Any brush shaped like this is going to be a great brush. I recommend having a prep brush that's just for prepping. That way, whatever color you're putting on your lid isn't compromised by other colors like browns. All right, and so I'm just going to press this out, and then I'm going to put a base powder on because it just makes a good canvas. All right, but I really like Sense Shadow Sense for 2 reasons. It cancels discoloration, and I use a lash serum that causes eyelid discoloration. I use Babe Lash. I did try for over, I want to say for a month and a half, the Beauty Society lash serum. And if you have a good amount of lashes, it's great for length. It's a really great one. You can get it at a discount if you're already using Beauty Society. If you have a good amount of volume on your lashes, this will be great for length. If you're trying to grow volume, new lashes, it's just not going to do it. That's just what I noticed. I got great length, but they were sparse because I have really thin lashes from years of glue-ons, years of lash extensions, and then I'm also 45. And with that comes thinning lashes, I guess. So I need a serum that does volume, and Babe Lash has by far been the one that checks the boxes. All right, so I'm gonna go into my Saint eyeshadow here, and I'm just gonna do a nice powder base. I'm gonna use a light color that goes kind of along with my skin tone, which is gonna be Cupcake, and I'm going lighter than my skin tone just to make everything else pop. And I'm sticking with this Oval Fluff brush. So if you have a brush this shape, hopefully you have more than one. This was kind of the go-to shape, and I find it's the easiest to work with. I wish Saint would come out with one. They have one similar, it's just a little fat for my liking. Okay, I'm gonna go into the Saint Santa Fe. Oh, I wanna use something else. Hold on, we're switching things up a little bit because I'm changing my mind. Just a bit, I wanna add a brow bone color because I like some shimmer. And so we're gonna go to Drift. It's a good champagne shimmer, and it can give the illusion of lift. And when you get to, hold on, I just gotta pull a few weeds here. Hold on just a sec. I'm just gonna do some pulling. I just like to keep things on track because you know how I get. Okay, Drift is my favorite. If you have Rome, if you have Sabrina, grab those. That's these. So I'm going to use Drift. It's my favorite, and I'm just going to use my finger to just make it extra punchy, more punchy than usual, because I'm going to be pretty shimmery. I'm going very neutral today, and I've been playing with these eye candies. These don't move, and they set so fast. Okay, first color I'm going to go into is another powder, and that's going to be Santa Fe. I love it as a transition color. It's nice, warm, orange toned brown. It's gonna go so well with a dark, cool tone. Peanut butter and jelly, okay? It's peanut butter and jelly. Get a fluffy brush, grab some, and we're gonna zoom in because I'm not hooded. I'm hooded, I'm the hooded neighbor. So from the front, I don't look hooded. You can see my lid, it doesn't sink down, but when I turn, I mean, I'm not changing my brow placement. I'm not changing my lash placement. But when I'm resting and then I turn, do you see how it folds? It looks more folded from the side because it is folded, but it has a hood. And so from the front, you can't see it, but I have a really prominent brow bone, which almost turns it into, I have drapey lids. We're gonna take that warm brown and I'm gonna put that all up here. Taking your colors one by one and stacking is key. So you don't want to do your shimmer after you do your base. I feel like this screen is a little on the dirty side. Hold on, let's just give her a little bit of a clean. And hopefully that'll help because I feel like it's out of focus. Okay, I don't use filters and I don't like a good dirty camera because I want you to see my skin as my skin. And my skin's got stuff. It's a normal person's skin. But put your shimmer on first and then stack your transition color on top. And then bring it down because you're going to stack on top of that too. So don't worry about things being in a precise placement. Like, oh, this only goes right here. Don't get it out. Get it out. Get it out. It's absolutely fine. Everything is fixable, okay? Good morning. Hello. I have been really kind of liking more shimmer than I usually do. And then again, playing with these eye candies are so good. All right, so we're gonna slap some makeup on. We're gonna make ourselves feel good. And I'm just gonna talk my way through it. It's not super glammy. It's not heavy I don't like heavy makeup. I just like to still look like me with a little polishing. It's just a little bit of polishing. Okay, I'm pretty much done with powders. And we're gonna go in. I'm staying zoomed in because I want you to see the way I use these. So the colors I'm using are by Beauty Society. I do share about Beauty Society. I do the skincare. There's products I love that are theirs, and I'm gonna talk about them today because after the new year, I'm not leaving Beauty Society, but I am taking, I'm gonna zoom out because this just feels too close. I am taking a step back and I'm focusing a lot more on my Saint business. And it's mainly because the Christmas season with Beauty Society gave me a really icky feeling. I didn't like the way they pushed out product. I didn't like, oh, there we go. That is why I feel weird. Okay, so, sorry. Okay, I love my Beauty Society and I'm going to continue to use it. MLMs are one thing, and then there's affiliate programs. And this is what I've learned through the change with Saint. So Saint was a dreaded MLM, bad. Okay, some people just hate an MLM, whatever. But they give information and they do try to take care of their people. And so we got really spoiled with Saint where they would tell us things a month ahead of time. They're really good, and they still do this where they give us early access that gives us time to see it, buy it, receive it, play with it. And then they tell us what day we're allowed to start sharing about it, which gives us time to create content in a way that doesn't feel rushed. And so I like that. And they still do that, which most affiliate programs don't do. I've been a part of a lot of affiliate programs where I've shared other companies and got an affiliate link and got the discount codes. And the way that they give you the information is when you see them share it, you take that and share it. They don't give you the heads up. They don't tell you ahead of time. And it makes it really hard to share and have content. And I feel like Beauty Society shares in that very similar way where we get 1 day early access, which means we don't have time to receive it and like it or not, which is why I'm late to the game on sharing these, because you don't get that kind of early access unless you're a certain kind of seller. And I don't want to build a team. I don't like that aspect of it. But I want to still try stuff and tell you if it's actually good. And because they don't give you the kind of notice, like it's not direct from Beauty Society, you have to rely on people to tell you. So you miss out on a lot of things like the eyelash serum. A lot of people bought it. There was a lot of and I just don't like the way they give us the information, so I'm backing down. I'm still here and I'm still sharing it. My problem is I'm not leaving Beauty Society, Alice. I'm just stepping back from sharing because over Christmas, I didn't like, they charged shipping. And I think during the Christmas season, they should have pulled shipping. And I'm a tiny voice, so I didn't say anything to them because why? But to roll out a new product every single day and not continue the previous products, you're asking people to potentially spend $25 on shipping. And I wasn't behind that. So it just bothered me that it was just like have holiday releases, multiples, like release a bunch of things. It just gave me the ick. I felt spammy. It just didn't feel good. So I'm still here for the people who love Beauty Society and share Beauty Society. And if you have questions, I'm here. I'm just not promoting because I don't like the way they want us to promote. And that is spammy and not what I'm about. And I hate being the person that's like, oh, guess what? There's more today. Oh, guess what? There's more today. That's not how I operate. I'm like, here's everything that's available. Let me know if you have questions. And to have to do that every single day is not who I am. And it just made me hate what I was doing a little bit. So the products that I share are products I know I can stand behind, which is eye cream, their regimens. I think they have too many skincare products that promise too many things, and I can't do that. You can't get rid of hyperpigmentation. You can't get rid of scarring with topical. You've got to go see a dermatologist and do that stuff. And to promise that, I just think you're doing a disservice. Okay. So to me, there's things you can do to help keep it from being more. But if you want to get rid, I mean, let's see. I've been using Beauty Society for 2 years. My stuff is still my stuff, and it's still pretty much the same. I have good days and I have bad days. And I notice there are some people, and I will never say who use skin, and it's not just Beauty Society, it's other skincare. When their skin is good that day, they capitalize on a good, you know, like my scars today are a little more red than they usually are. So I can show how to cover it better on days like today. Whereas if I'm having a low scar day where it doesn't show as much and it's not as red, I shouldn't hop on and say, look at what my skincare did. No, I'm just having a good skin day. And I notice there's people who have done that, and it just, go see a dermatologist, go and get the microneedling, go and get the things, the peels, and those are the things that are going to help with this. Topical will never take care of what's underneath. But their skincare topically is incredible. I just can't get behind, mix this with this and use this every day and it'll go away. It's like, no, it won't. It won't. And I tried it and I've learned it and I've practiced it, and it's just not how it is. Okay, so I love their regimens for how my skin reacts. Topically, their skincare is great and it makes my makeup better. And the under eye creams are amazing. I love Immortalize. I love Upgrade. They're so good. And some of their makeup is so great. For those people who like a good liquid foundation, they have a great one. If you want a good concealer, they have an amazing one. I cannot get behind their contour. I cannot get behind their blush. They are too expensive and not pigmented enough. Especially for people who are going to a skincare expecting to get rid of this stuff. I'm going to show you how to cover it. So that's what we're going to do today. All right. So I've started with my eyes. We're going to get into it. We're going to use these Beauty Society products. I had these and played with these for days and days and days, and found you need your own brush. So I have another generic, I have no idea where it came from. This thing is old. It's the shape. It's also a brush I don't typically use. So we're going to use these products that set quickly, and we're going to do our makeup with it. Okay. Okay. I'm super honest, so thank you for switching to me. Yes, the same thoughts yesterday. I hated who I was last week with. It was like day 9, day 8, and it's like you couldn't get day 8 on day 9, and you had to pay for shipping again. And it's like, you guys, they had some really great products, but you had to pay shipping every single time, and it made me so mad. I hated it anyways, but I didn't want people to miss out on a product. So I will share Beauty Society when a good product is worth it. And if you're somebody that's mine with Beauty Society, go into join my Facebook group if you haven't. And if you are with me on Beauty Society, I will create a separate chat specific to those products, but I'm not out there grabbing more people. I just can't share. I can't live in a world where I can't try your products early and where I don't know about the product or the sale until it's live. That's wild to me. That's wild to me. I love the stuff. The way the company shares it is more like an affiliate than an MLM. Anyway, okay. I'm staying with Saint. I'll still be sharing the heck out of that stuff. Okay, so eye candy, while I'm on it, since it's kind of like my last hurrah, this stuff is good, but it is tricky. It sets really fast and it's really, really pigmented. All right, and so I'm going to be tapping this on the outside up my crease, and then quickly grabbing this brush, and I'm going to blend it together first and then start quickly moving it where I want to move it, but it's already setting and it's already really hard to move. But it's such a well pigmented product. A lot of people want a deep shimmer that has staying power, and this stuff does. All right. And so you have to really move it. I would say if you have really mature lids, I wouldn't go for cocoa. So this color right here is cocoa, and I was hoping it was going to be more brown, but this is definitely a very cool toned color, but it's so pretty. I'm going to grab another little dot. Okay, grabbing this, and I'm going to tap it right here at the bottom lash line, and then do some more moving. I love a deep eye, but when you have mature eyes, this is one of the reasons why I like the eye candy. There's no fallout. There's no fallout and there's no transfer because of this liquid that sets so well. All right. And we're just, once it sets, it's doggone hard to move. Okay. And then if there's anything on the brush, I'm just smashing it down here on the lower lash line just to deepen things up just a little bit, but I will be using some black today too. All right, so working with this, it really is done moving. All right, doing the same thing on the other side. We're gonna start on the outside, and then we're gonna go in that crease. I'm not even gonna twist that shut, and then start moving and a grooving, and just don't worry about it being perfect because I'm gonna stack just like I was doing at the beginning. We're just gonna stack. I like the shape of this brush the most though. When I knew I needed a separate brush, I knew I needed this shape of a brush. But it doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna stack with this so it can be a little haphazard. And then get that bottom lash line with anything that could be left. It works as a powder, but it's just different. Okay. I don't speak Spanish, sorry. I only speak English. Okay. And I'm trying to stay on topic today. So I like Beauty Society. I'm going to go and grab a fluffy brush, and I'm going to try to blend this because boy, that stuck hard on this eye. It's a great product. If you have really mature lids, it's going to work really well with all those crevices, but you've got to move quickly with it. But then we're also going to wait to judge this eye makeup until the very, very, very end once the rest of the makeup's on. Okay. I prefer a makeup that has movability, but when it comes to your eyes, you want something that stays. So having a good primer is key, and I need to really work with this a little bit more. We're going to take a dot, and I'm just going to build it up right there and bring this down and in. Not the most forgiving product, but it is a good product. And so just making the edges blend outward, and then I'm going to go grab that Santa Fe and give it some extra kick. But they're tricky. I would say out of all the colors, my favorite is Sorbet. It's the most forgiving. But also trusting the process, because sometimes you can hate your makeup, but then you get the rest of your face on and you say, oh, that's good. That's good stuff. Where's my fluffy brush? I'm going to grab that fluffy brush. I'm going to grab some more Santa Fe. And I'm just gonna lay over the top of this and blend. My hair's killing me today. Killing me today. I can't do my hair. I miss my my halo. I haven't been using it lately because I'm trying to give my hair a little bit of a rest so that it can grow. I also found my curly hair brush isn't great for me. Okay, grabbing that brush. Now we're going to go into Sorbet. It's a light, it looks peach, pulls more pink on the lid, and it's going to be the same thing. We're going to dot across the lid, going in with this brush and just pressing it outward. And this is going to open up your eyes. It's going to add some shimmer, and it's going to be, it's so pretty. They're not a very fine, not milled, but they're a fine shimmer, not a high fleck. Really good. If you have really mature lids, this is going to really jazz up that texture and enhance it in a really pretty way. But I'm just going to bring that outward, and I'm winging it. Do you see where I'm winging it into my crease here and outward? Super pretty. But again, Not the most forgiving. They do require a bit of playing to learn the product, but once you figure them out, they're so good. They're such a pretty color, and it's just fun. I've seen other liquids. If you're looking for cream pencils, I haven't really found a shimmer one that stays the way that these do. But this is such a pretty little combo, all right? But I always do my eyeshadow first because I can fix it when I'm doing the rest of my makeup. Okay, eye candies. They have a champagne shimmer. I just have so many. I couldn't bring myself to buy another, but I do kind of want to. I do like the lighter shades the most because I was expecting that color, cocoa, to be a little more like Philly with shimmer, and it wasn't. Okay, we're gonna go in with a etch brush, which is this guy right here. It's a nice small brush, and I'm gonna just take off a little bit. I have some pencil on it, and I'm really not looking to gouge my skin. Okay. You want to buy some makeup from your wife? Where can you get it? Go to the link in my description, and there's a form, and I would either fill that out or you can click the email box and you can email me and we can work on it. I'm going to need you to find a makeup-free picture that's well lit, and we can get our color matched and get something set up. Okay. Going to grab this wet. I'm just using some Plush and Prep Mist. I find it to be hydrating and really good for your brushes when you're getting them wet, and I just wipe off the excess. And I'm gonna go into black. We're just gonna pick some of that up on both sides, and then we're gonna wedge this onto the outer part of my lashes. And this is just gonna help me with a little bit of lift to my eye, because as we grow, things fall, and I want my eyes to have lift. I'm really not doing this for the liner. I'm doing this to add lift and volume to my lashes. And I got myself a nice and brand spanking new Babe Lash for Christmas, so I'm really excited. But this helps with that volume. Just adding that little bit of depth. If you look, it changes the shape of the eye. It just knocks it up a little bit, and it's so good. Grabbing a little bit more. We're gonna go over to this side over here. Good morning, Anne. Good to see you. We're just going to, on the outer quarter of the lash line, we're just adding thickness and using a shadow to keep it soft. Shadow to keep it soft. I always keep my black in this little guy because black fallout will mess up anything. And so we're just adding a little bit of black, and then I'm gonna go right here on the inside and add a little bit to the inner line. This is just gonna help give the illusion of it going all the way across. Okay. I am gonna grab a silk pencil. This is black by Saint because this is gonna stay put. And I'm just gonna waterline, especially out on this outer quarter, and then I just move it across. And these are pretty hard to sharpen, but I found a brush helps the most when it comes to sharpening these things. All right, pushing it across. Okay, so the best way to sharpen these is to get a nice flat pencil. So I use this edge of the etch brush, and you can just start pressing it around and pushing it and molding it. I found that to be the best way, more than using tissue. These are really moldable, but you could easily, I just find the brush works the best because I like it to have that little swoop, and this just needs a little more work now that I've waterlined. But that's how I found is the best way to sharpen them, is to use a pencil and then clean the pencil. Okay, mascara, and then we're done. I've been using a combo. And hold on just a second. There we go. All right, so this is the combo I've been using, and this was something I saw from Harmony Buse. She's a Saint artist, because I was trying to find a way to make the Saint mascaras work. I love my Fan Fest. If you want a one and done, Fan Fest is it. My latest bottle dried so fast, but I got Lash Velvet right here. This is a volumizer. It's really dependent on what you want out of your mascara. If you just want length because you already have really thick lashes, go get Lash Leather. This is a good tubing, really great for length, but I need volume. So I combine them because this one will have fallout. this will seal it. All right, so we're gonna grab the mascara, and you can see this is super clumpy. And then we're gonna go in with the method of my madness. I'm gonna be super zoomed in, see all the goods of my skin. We're gonna take this to the base of our lashes on the outside, wiggle our lashes into the bristles and lift. The middle, wiggle, 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 get it into the bristles, lift. Inside, wiggle, 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 lift, and then go back to the middle and then the outside. This is going to put product at the base. This is what's gonna give that volume, and it adds what looks like liner. Okay, so stay with me. This will all look better when the rest looks better. But makeup should make you feel the way you want to feel. So we're just going to pile on at the base. We're working on base, not length, volume. And so adding volume means adding product on top of product and thickening the volume at the base of your lashes. Okay? That's going to give you fuller looking lashes. And you want to do this until you start noticing it's getting drier and clumpier. Because once that starts happening, that's when you stop. Okay? Then you can switch to a tubing mascara, which is, what is this one? Lash leather. So if you have full lashes already, grab this guy. This will take care of it for you. And then you're going to pile this on top of the product to seal it, to keep it from falling out. Okay, and then you can start working on your length. And by doing that, we're going to go from the top down, and you're going to go on the lashes, pull around and out. Down, turn, pull out, and then start pushing them back up again. And this is going to add the length you want. Now again, I don't have naturally really long lashes. I think the natural lash is finally coming back, thank goodness. And then you just start putting that product on, and that will give you no lashes to some nice lashes. And then we could take this tubing, and it's best for your lower lashes. I don't use the volumizing on the lower lash. I just like a little definition, and that's it. And that's how I do my mascara. I don't know if I should do a tutorial using two kinds of mascara to give length, but do you see the difference in my eye by just adding the mascara? It adds length, it adds volume, it looks like I have liner. That's where volume helps. It can give you liner without closing your eye. All right, going in on the other side, mascara is probably, my eyes are probably the one thing that takes the most time, and then the face just kind of slaps on pretty quick. Especially once you know where you like everything to go. The placement of things is key, and finding where you like them. All right. So if you have should I do a tutorial using two mascaras? Should I still haven't decided. The jury's out on that one. But I do plan to get another Fan Fest. I just haven't found another mascara I like more, except using two. And hold on just a second here. There we go. All right. Stand by. We have a lot of weeds. So if any of my regulars are here, pop in and push away the weeds, because they're out today. And it's probably because I skipped last Monday. But we're just going to get this mascara put on, because I can't pause and come back and zoom through because we live. But yeah, they're here. And they ain't going anywhere. Okay, so get that lower lash line, and now we're gonna get into makeup. The makeup everybody likes to see is how I'm gonna cover all this stuff without looking, you know, the makeup tutorials you see where it almost looks like a plaster. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna do our makeup, and we're gonna look like real. We're gonna have realistic everyday makeup. That's the makeup I do, is realistic. Kosas mascara. I've heard about that one. Is that one over the counter, or is that an online buy? I can't remember. Is that at Ulta? I feel like I just saw it. I can't remember. I've heard about that one. I actually just ordered a new makeup to try, because I know creams aren't for everybody. So typically I use Saint Makeup cream-based 3D foundation. Love this stuff. It's my favorite. 80% pigmentation, $16 a color. Sephora, good to know. I have to drive hours to get to a Sephora. It's not fun. Okay, But has anybody heard of Jones Road? They have this pot of foundation, and I'm gonna try it, and they have a crayon concealer. Gonna try it. And I'm always looking for another new one, and I just thought this one was popping up a lot, so I'm trying it. A lot of makeup pops up. Okay, Milk Hydro Grip. If you have skin stuff, you want to, okay? We're going to go and put this on. I always start on my cheeks because that's where I need the most help, and my chin. My chin's been, I'm a face toucher, and my family makes fun of me because I guess I do this a lot. And I didn't know that until they started making fun of me. But anyway. Why do I feel? Nope. Anyway. Okay. I'm going to be using Perfect 10 Liquid Foundation by Beauty Society. Now again, I share products I can stand behind. I don't share products that I can kind of like. I tried those magnetic lashes with the things. They aren't for me. Those things are scary. But I have used the heck out of concealers, and I can tell you there's tips and tricks for all of them. Having a good under eye hydrating eye cream is key. And if you have a great eye cream you like, great. But I like balm under my eyes too. I use Upgrade. It's amazing, and I like the doe foot for massaging down any of the inflammation. But I want something really dewy under my eyes because it helps with creasing, and it helps with texture. It helps if you have dryness. Okay. The Milk Kush Mascara. Okay. Oh, then they changed the formulation. Well, that's a bummer. Okay. I have Lighten Up. This stuff is so good mixed with balm. So I'm going to lay the balm on, and then I'm going to grab a denser brush. I'm going to use a buff brush. I'm going to use this brush for almost everything, all right? But mainly all the Beauty Society will be done with a Saint Buff brush. It's a 2-in-1. It's got a smaller end, it's got a bigger end, but it's dense. And I'm going to show you why I can stand behind these products. So this is the color Light. This is Fair Light. And so I have fair light skin, so that's how I pick it. All right, we're going to grab a little bit, and this is going to go under the eyes and into that balm. And it's going to cancel out my darkness that I get right in this little area. And I get it extra light because lightness pulls out. So it's going to help camouflage my trough. And this is also going to clean up some of that mascara and eyeshadow a little bit that's just pulled a little too far out. But it just lightens things up, and it pulls that trough out. So you can see the trough here. Here it's a bit more camouflage. It's still there, but it's a bit more camouflage because light pulls out. And so when you're working with something where you're wanting to pull in, dark. When you're wanting to pull out, light. All right, and so we're going to grab this here, and we're just going to cancel out that darkness. And I find Lighten Up works really, really well. I still like my Frenchie and all that, but I like, today I'm kind of just sharing the things that I can get behind with Beauty Society. I would say, which one? Sorbet is probably the one I would recommend more. Cocoa needs a lot of learning. A lot of learning. And so if you're not really wanting to learn new eyeshadow, you're fine. If you have Rigoletto, you can get Cocoa. It's about the same color. I'm going to take this Lighten Up, and I'm going to go right here in my smile lines just for lift. I'm just going to go right like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just going to lighten it up just to give it some lift instead of, you know, injecting it with some filler and lifting it that way, which just makes you look like a chipmunk and you're storing nuts for the winter. Okay. Sorry, I said it. Okay. All right. Going in, and we're not going to do any of my normal correctors when I'm using Saint makeup, which will be next Monday. I'll be using all Saint. I'll show you all my favorite things on how to correct. A lot of them aren't available right out the gate, so I'll probably be showing alternatives. Okay, Perfect 10 Liquid Foundation. I am going to be using 2 colors because I'm going to use Biscuits and Gravy. Which one do I want to use today? I'm using 2. Fabulous and Alluring. They're just a little bit different. This one's a little bit darker than this one. You can see it there. Okay, but it's because one's too light, one's too dark. Most things can be done much easier. Let's just use one, just so I can show you how I would transition it, I guess. because I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. All right, we're gonna grab Perfect 10. This is a oil-free, age-reversing foundation, so it has skincare infused into it, which is really nice. It has about 20% pigmentation, where Saint has 80%. So the pigmentation is gonna be low, and I'm gonna show you that it's really about using other things. And so I will be dipping into Saint because everybody knows 80% pigmentation, you're gonna get less product, maximum pigment, which is what you want, especially if you have hyperpigmentation coming in, scarring, just redness. If that's the case for you, you want something like Saint that has high pigment, but if you love your foundation, we can still make it work without piling it on. We don't need to put the foundation all over, so we're just gonna take this on the larger end of the dense brush, and I'm gonna have you watch that this doesn't just soak in. And I'm gonna talk for a little bit because we'll talk a lot, and we're gonna talk about it just so you can see that this doesn't sink in. I'm gonna use their Incognito concealer. I like this more than Tarte, more than NARS, more than any of the stuff, any of the trending stuff. Incognito by far has the most movability, and you want your foundation and concealers to have movability, especially as you start to mature, because you have pores, you have fine lines, and you have movement, especially around your mouth and your chin. Having a makeup that has movability means you can get away with touching maybe your chin or your nose. That's a big touch point for a lot of people. And when you have a concealer or a foundation that doesn't move, it stay all day, it's gonna chip off like paint. Having something that has movability, it's still gonna rub off the same, but it's gonna rub off looking different, more gradual, not like you have red bursting through your makeup. All right, this is also a full coverage, and it has anti-aging in it as well. And having that, to me, checks two boxes. You have movability for your changing skin, but you have anti-aging in it, which means your makeup isn't changing your skin. A lot of makeups suffocate because they don't move all day, and it's still sitting on top of the brush, by the way. What it's doing is it's suffocating your pores. It's stretching them out like the collar of a shirt, and it's gonna make you look more mature. It's gonna look very drying, which is also gonna give you a look of more maturity. So you have dry looking skin with larger pores. You have cracking, which looks like fine lines. You want makeup that's working with your changing skin. So what you were using in your 20s and 30s isn't working. I'm 45. And so putting makeup on should be adding hydration, and it should look hydrated. And you shouldn't be making a trade-off of heavy makeup that just makes you look like you painted on a mask. It shouldn't be that thick. All right, so we're gonna take this, it's still resting on it, it didn't absorb in. It's so good. And we're just gonna put this down this part of our face here, okay? This is gonna balance out our skin tone. It's gonna give some coverage right here, but we're really just muting the problems and balancing where there's no problems. Muting. You shouldn't be putting so much foundation on that you can't see anything, because you're gonna be putting more products on. And so keeping that in mind, if you're gonna cover everything first and then go and put a bunch of stuff on, you're gonna make a trade-off. You're gonna get coverage, but you're gonna get texture, and it's not gonna be good texture. Your skin is a texture, and that should be enhanced, not accentuated. And so remembering that the colors we choose after this are really important, because they're gonna work with redness, they're gonna work with scarring, with hyperpigmentation, and they're gonna work with our natural tones. All right, so I'm gonna take this, and we're just gonna add a few little sweeps down and around the face. Just like this. We're just gonna get it in this general little area, bringing up last to your high texture and high traffic, which means creases, pores, and then we can go over some of the discoloration a little bit higher. Okay, I have it coming up like ivy here. We're just muting those things, but I'm really focusing more on balancing my skin tone here. You never wanna go a shade too light. If you're really unsure about your foundation color you're picking, one, message me for a color match. But if you're really hell-bent on picking your own, go a little too dark. Go a little darker than you think your color is, because chances are if you're picking a color that you think is spot on, it's gonna be too light. So just go a shade up or two, because you can use your concealer, which should be a shade down, same of or shade down. If you try to get spot on, you'll probably be perfect. and you could use that to help combat it being a little too dark. I'm gonna pull this down my neck with what's left on my brush, and it's given me really great balance, and it's also giving me the muting. You can still see my stuff, and remember, this is 20% pigmentation, and so I'm not gonna get an insane amount of coverage. Be realistic about your makeup, but also be realistic about your skin. Your skin is a texture that's really pretty. It's kind of like putting a low flex shimmer on, but getting maximum fleck because of the texture of your lid. So there we go. All right. So we're just going to be pressing this out, bringing it down, and it has the movability. So my smile lines, my pores, the movement around my mouth, my straw lines, it's not going to crack. It's going to move with it. And that means if it does have any movement, you can reset it also. Most makeups, if they crack, they don't reset. If they move, they don't reset. You got to go buy, or not buy more, but you have to apply more. And I don't like traveling with a full bag of makeup in my purse. I like to leave my house and not worry about it. Okay, that's all I need for the perfect 10 was one little pump. And now I'm all nice and balanced and muted. And so now we're gonna do things with a little more purpose. Sorry, I am a hair toucher. Okay, Incognito Concealer has the movability, but it's not gonna stiffen, it's not gonna dry. So I'm gonna apply this and then I'm gonna talk because I like talking. And we're gonna put this on. I like grabbing a little bit, about that much, and we're gonna do an arrow. This is gonna be a shade lighter than my skin tone because I have this reflecting light that hits here, hits here, and then it's also hitting right here. So we're gonna use this to give ourselves coverage, balance, dimension, and all the stuff, okay? We're gonna go right here onto our chin, and then I'm gonna hit my Cupid's bow right here to start, and we'll do the under eyes later. I like doing the under eyes a little bit later. Okay. So with this, usually when you put on something like Tarte, it's gonna start to set. And this is a high texture area for some people, and your chin can be a high texture area for some people. Having something that sets like Tarte, unfortunately, I love Tarte products. There's great Tarte products, but their concealer, if you love their concealer and the coverage you get with it, go get a balm. Honest Company has a great balm. Saint has a great balm. Go get an Aquaphor, that's a great balm. And prep those areas if you're gonna use Tarte. Prep those areas with something hydrating like a balm, and it's gonna help with some movability, and it's gonna change the consistency of it just enough to work with your changing skin. So if you must, add a balm. Add a balm to it. This one is like Tarte with a balm. So if you have it and you just want to use the last of it, go grab yourself a cheap little Aquaphor stick and add a little bit to those areas where you have high texture. I'm just gonna throw some brushes around. Okay, grabbing this buff brush, I'm just gonna tap out this area, and this is just gonna give the illusion of reflecting light. That's really all it does. Is we're creating dimension. We shouldn't have a flat face. So we're just adding some dimension, and this right here is just a very pretty area, okay? All right, and so I go up and around, and this just enhanced what's already there, okay? We're going right up here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna tap it around between the brows, going over the brows. That's why I do my brows last, is because I just screw them up here. This doesn't have to be perfect. We're keeping it pretty much where it is. This is about, I would say 30% pigmentation. Your concealers, full coverage isn't full coverage. Just depends on how thick it is. But again, adding that balm with it is gonna help a lot. And this is just looking like reflecting light, giving us dimension, okay? Because we have our actual skin tone here, and now we're gonna put on colors with purpose. I'm gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna go to a detail brush. I love this dirty brush. The shape of it is perfection when it comes to contouring. And so you have natural tones. We've got a shadow here. We've got darkness around our hairline, and our hair creates a shadow. We have our jawline, and we have our nose. Our lips create a shadow. We're gonna work with all those areas using a shadow tone instead of covering them and lightening them with our foundation. So I'm gonna dip into Saint. This is where I switch over to Saint. I love Beauty Society's foundation and concealer. However, their sticks have so little they are a light coverage stick, and they have contours, but they don't have the pigment Saint has. Saint has 80% pigmentation with their bronzers, with their contours, plus their contours are cool toned, whereas Beauty Societies are more warm toned, and a shadow is not warm, a tan is. And so I want to work with the tones that I have, but I want there to be, they have a huge variety. And it works well, especially for women of an age where you have hyperpigmentation coming in and we're not knocking a few lasers into our skin. So I have hyperpigmentation that's muted down. It goes up like ivy up into this area, but I also have just natural shadowing. So picking a contour that can both contour and hide my hyperpigmentation is important because I don't want to pile on and create thick makeup. So having high pigment means I can get the most with the least amount of product. Are we making sense? I hope we are. So I'm going to use the color Cedar. It's a nice, cool tone, and I'm going to pop it back in so you can see. This is bronzer. Nice and warm, nice and cool. We're going to take a detail brush. I'm going to tap into it. Sorry. I don't have my bristles clumping together. We're going to follow our natural shadowing and our natural tone. I have a frog. Okay. I'm just going to start on the outside above the temple here, and then I'm going to bring it together, and then I'm just going to push this towards the hairline and then down towards the temple. And then I'm going to bring it in on the outer part of my brow and just pulling it down towards that concealer that I had put in. Just like that. That's it. And then I'm going to use this little end, and I'm just going to blur the line. And now my concealer and my contour have worked together to create coverage, create balance, and create dimension. And it's in a light amount of makeup. Okay? The heaviest part is probably the concealer because it's a thick product. Concealer is a thick product. Saint has light shades that you can use instead if that's what you want to do. I personally love a full meal deal in one palette. Okay, so there it is right there. Bing bang. Main highlight, which is foundation, brightening highlight. It's all up to you on what you want. I'm just showing you Beauty Society products today because I'm not going to be sharing about them as much. I'm still here if you want them, and I might throw one out there here and there. Like if they have a sale, I will definitely talk about them. My 10-year-old, she gets eczema breakouts, and it creates really deep redness on her face after it heals. She has their stick foundations, and they cover her redness a little bit. And I like that for her because I don't need her using a thick, heavier cream. Something lighter is best for her. So it's really about, it's not for everybody. It's for some. And I like talking about some. All right, going back into Cedar. We're going to tap in on the edge of the brush. And I'm going to come down the top side of my nose for the shadowing. And I'm overcorrecting it. We're just going to go top sides, and we're going to follow that natural brow right here. And then I'm going to square it off. And then I'm going to tap it out and bridge it together. I have a little bit of a bump on my nose, so if you have a bump, if you have a bend, tapping it together is great. And it all works out once everything starts clicking in together. So just getting around the tip, squaring it off. I'm going to go back into my incognito, and I'm going to add a few dots down the middle of my nose. And we're just going to use our finger here to sweep it down, sweep it up, and bring it to that middle, and it straightens it right out. Best tip, if you have a little bit of a bend and you feel like your nose is going in one direction, you can't change the shape of your nose, but you can give that more illusion of no bump, no bend, and I have a bump that really bugs me. So it's just basically, what do you want out of your makeup? What do you want out of your makeup? Not what do I want out of your makeup? What do you want out of your makeup? All right, going back into that contour, and we're going to follow this shadow here, but we're going to go just above it. If I go right into it, it's going to pull my face down. I want to add lift. So we're going above the natural shadow here, following where your shadow goes. Not where you want it to be, where it already is. Otherwise, it's like outer lining your lips. You can tell. when it's not on the lip. You can tell when your contour is not in your shadow. All right, so you let that shadow be the bottom, and then you create a thicker shadow, and it's gonna add some lift to your face, okay? You use Tarte Ultra Creamy on your lids as a primer. How does that work? That stuff is so thick. Does it work well? I'm curious how that works for you. I want to know. Okay, same thing over on this side, letting the shadow be the bottom and then following where your shadow naturally goes. You can move your mouth, smile, do this whole thing, but following where it naturally goes. This color is Cedar. It works really well as a contour that if you have hyperpigmentation or scarring, this color works really well to hide it. All right. And so I'm just following where my shadow naturally goes when I'm smiling, when I'm not smiling. That's it. All right, grabbing a little more, just a little bit. I just did 2 little taps. 80% pigmentation gets you this really yummy glow with your contour, okay? We're gonna go in front of the earlobe here, and we're gonna follow above that. We have our shadow here, we're gonna go just above it. So we go here, and then just above it. And then we can pull this down, because that's what shadows do. But this just gives you a little bit of a chisel, a little snatcheroo, if you want one. Skip it. My method with makeup is there are no rules. Makeup should be fun or we're doing it wrong. So try it. If you like it, keep going. If you try it and you don't like it, don't do it again. Didn't work for you. Again, everybody's face is shaped differently. Everybody likes a different look for everybody. But do you see how my eye makeup is starting to actually look good? I bet everybody was really questioning things at the beginning. Right? Okay, I'm gonna skip bronzer today because it's winter. And I'm wearing a cool toned sweater. So for blush, I like pinks, but I have scars on my apples that we saw at the beginning. And so I use a color called Frenchie. I also use this on my under eyes. So we're gonna grab Frenchie. I'm almost out. That's how much I like this thing. We're gonna grab that Frenchie with our finger here, and we're gonna smile, and I'm gonna follow where my scarring is, but I'm also gonna follow the shape of my cheek here, because as you get older, you can tend to lose volume in your cheeks. Your ears and your nose keep growing, and then everything else just starts to deflate. And so this is gonna work with whatever blush I pick, which my favorite lately has been Hollywood, and it's this brighter pink. And I'm gonna put that up here, and I like just putting it on with my finger. And I'm gonna take that buff brush on the big end, and I'm just gonna tap it out up here first, and then I'm gonna bring it down to that Frenchie color right there. And I go up too high because I'm also gonna be putting on my under eye concealer. And we're just tapping this out, smashing it, just taking it and just spreading it, going into that Frenchie. I keep mine up high. The main pink color goes way up high, and then it just ombres down. Super simple. 80% pigmentation. My contour and my blush that I just put on is 80% pigmentation. So it works as a concealer over my stuff. So I can mute it with my foundation, and I can cover it with my blush. You can't find another product out there, and I challenge anybody to find a contour, a bronzer, or a blush, or all three that you can put on that are those things and a concealer that are 16 bucks a color. You can't. You can't. And so to get the most out of your makeup, you sometimes just need to get something that has that high pigment and high quality, but it can be affordable. Nothing great has to be the most expensive. If Amazon's taught us anything, that's true. So I'm gonna go into my incognito now, and I'm going to do my under eyes. They don't need a whole lot because I use that lighten up with the balm. I just need a few areas where I want lightness. And so I'm gonna go into the shine to enhance the shine. I'm gonna go up the orbital, and I'm gonna give extra coverage to where I get extra dark to get me through the next rest of the day. okay? I like my brightening to come down a little bit low, and then I'm gonna bring it up the orbital. I never apply my concealer to my soft tissue. We're gonna take the small end of the buff brush, and I'm just gonna tap out right here, using the pointy end. The shape of this brush is so nice. Going into that corner, up that orbital bone, and then onto that soft tissue last. Okay, so we're just gonna bring that around, but it's still there with the blush, and it just changed the shape of my eye. Same thing over here, just get that smile shine area, up that orbital, into that inner corner, tapping it, keeping it where it is, and then pushing it onto that soft tissue last. Okay. We're just gonna bring that up, giving it some lift, and then we can set it and forget it. But having products that work with your changing skin, if anything creases under my eyes, because creasing happens, that's not because of bad makeup, that's just over applying. But also, if you have fine lines, you're gonna squish things together, because that's all your wrinkles are doing, is they're folding together. Okay, so I'm gonna take Professionals. Oh wait, I'm not, because look what Santa brought me. I got a big giant Blue Marble. This is my favorite setting spray, and you can tell it has the blue marble in it. That's what it's called, Blue Marble. And it's so good. This is a film forming spray. It's water-based film forming barrier seal. This is going to give you the longevity out of your makeup. Having a good base, like good skincare, and then putting your makeup on and sealing it. If you have oily skin like me, you know that in an hour that oil is going to come up, it's going to move your makeup, it's going to do things to your makeup. That was one of the only good things I liked about my oily skin, was that when I used that stay all day makeup that got super dry, I knew my oil, in an hour and a half, my makeup would look great. I used to have to do my makeup an hour before I wanted to be anywhere so that it looked better. Your makeup shouldn't have to sit for an hour to look better. All right, Blue Marble, get it going. Get this. I never like the first spray on my face. Oh, I missed that. This stuff is good. This stuff is good. It's on Amazon, and this stuff is so good. So while your face is damp, take a setting powder. I'm going to use Laura Mercier today, because I think I have meetings, and this stuff works all day. Get a fluffy brush. This is a Saint brush. This is a shape brush. We're going to grab that stuff. I mean, I've gone through bottles of Blue Marble. I love that stuff. You're gonna put it on not like this. You're gonna go to the lid, you're gonna swirl it into the brush so that it looks like this instead. And then you're gonna go to a low texture area, wherever your least amount of texture is. Mine's my temple. I'm gonna work that around the top of my forehead, bring it down lightly around the side. I always hit this side. Everybody forgets about this. Your phone hits this. Your phone will lift your makeup. Going down onto my chin, I always go from least texture to the most texture. So down and around, hit my chin, around my mouth, I go up around my nose, and then the last place I'm gonna go is right under my eyes. This powder lasts like glitter, okay? Powder lasts like glitter, okay. Yes, and you touch the wand on to pick it up, okay. You don't use the doe foot. Or which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the concealer on your eyes? What are we talking about? Boom. Okay, so I've set it. Now I can forget it. Now I can go and do the rest of my face. I don't like to do my brows or my lips until after I set my face, because once I start whipping a brush around, it's just gonna mess it all up. Okay, for my brows, I use powder, or I will use a silk brush or silk pencil, but I'm gonna use powder today because that's where I go. Okay, so I use two colors, Trust Oak. These are Saint eyeshadows. They're so good. And I'm gonna get an angle brush, and we're just gonna comb these brows. How you like your brows, also super personal. Do I think my brows are bad? No. Could they use a little help? Absolutely. Do you see how it comes to, I almost have a triangle right here. I don't love that, so I fix it. And we're just gonna take an angle brush, and I'm just going to see where they would hit together, and we just bring that down. I go about 1 millimeter in from my inner corner, and then I square it up. And then I just fill it in. Okay, and then we just follow that line. I'm going to go into the lighter color oak, and I'm going to follow that line out. My brow stops here, but I'm going to grab that out farther. Going to the top, quarter of the way in, same thing, follow that natural arch, up and over and out. And then just grab from that bottom line and that top line and just blend in. Grab your spoolie, comb, pick up excess product. And there you go. And that's how I prefer my brows. There are stencils. Stencils to me are your best friend if you need help with your brows but you don't know what shape you want. Go get a stencil, go get a beauty blender, and stencil your brows on and find the shape you like. It's kind of like trying placement on contour. If you don't like where it is, move it. Try a different placement. And you just keep trying different shapes until you find the shape you like for your brows. I find powders to look a bit softer, which is why I use them as my eyeliner. And it gives a softer look than using pens or pencils. Even when I use a silk pencil, I still use a brush to apply it. So when I use a pencil on my brow, which I use the color Latte, I'm gonna find, for some reason I feel the need to show it. Latte. So Latte is a really pretty brown. I will take an angle brush and you could tell by the way this is shaped so well, you just tap onto it and then you can put it on that way. I would never recommend a pencil to your brow. It just will end up not as good as it could be. Okay, brows are on. Let's do our lips and then we're gonna call it a day. All right, so I'm gonna stick with my contour, that cedar contour. Gonna take that detail brush. We're gonna tap into the edge, and just like everything else, our shadows are already there, so we're just gonna use them. We're just gonna add a little soul patch right here, and then I'm gonna add a little soul patch up here. Not really, it's a Gomez Adams, all right? Just a little Gomez Adams shadow at the top. This is gonna give the illusion that your lips have a curl. Go right in between the little, look at how pretty they're already looking. It gives them structure, okay? I'm gonna take my incognito that I had put away and I shouldn't have. We're gonna wipe it off and we're gonna go right out here and we're just gonna add lightness. Okay, doesn't need to be a lot, just needs to be a little. Because again, we're just adding contrast. We're gonna tap this out. And this is just going to give structure. If you were outer lining your lips to make them look bigger, instead of putting the outline there, put contour there and have it be blended, because that's what's gonna make your lips look fuller. Okay, I'm gonna take that same contour. I kind of want a pink lip today. Don't I want a pink lip? I do. I like a good pink lip. I'm gonna add, what color? We're gonna use, I know what it is. I've been using it a lot. Toasted. Toasted is a lip liner. This is a satin. This goes on really nice, but it moves, it doesn't set. It's a really pretty color. And I'm just gonna add that to the line of my lip, not outer, right to the edge. Okay, this is gonna help your lips with the structure that they want, and it's gonna help with the longevity of your color. All right, getting down and around, hugging as close to the edge as you can without popping off. Get that outer corner filled in. Really hug the edge, especially in the middle of the lips. If you want super full lips and you think a shadow or an outer lining or a special lipstick is gonna do it, it's not. It's not. The only thing that's gonna really bump up your lips is going to be if you're wanting a dramatic bump up. What you're looking for is filler. But if you're wanting your lips to look full again, what you're wanting is structure. structure, adding some shadow to add some curl, and that's it. I'm gonna go into Kulfi. Have you guys seen these? These popped up on one of my ads and I had to try it. This is color Rose. I heard it's very popular. It sells out quite a bit. It took a long time to get here. This is a lip gloss and stain. So once it wears down, it leaves a color behind. And so then you can take a color and put it on top. I'm gonna show you what I always use. But this color is really pretty and it has flecks of gold in it. It's so pretty. And so you just pop that on with this. And I like it a lot. So Kulfi, I don't know if I have a link for it. Not hard to find. Google. Kulfi. I love it. And it stays on. Look at how pretty that is. It just gives your lips kind of a natural flushness. And as it wears down, the color stays. And then what I always recommend that everybody needs is this. This looks like the Tom Ford. This one is $20 cheaper. This is by Saint. This is called Diamonds Are Forever. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. And then you could pop that on after this starts to wear down. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to take this off. But everybody needs Diamonds Are Forever. I have multiples of these in, I think I have 2 in my purse. I have a lipstick bag. I have the inner zipper pocket bag because I don't like to be without it. And then I also have another one that's in my clutch that I will just grab and go with. But this stuff is good. It's 25 bucks. Worth it because the Tom Ford one looks exactly the same and it's $45. So if you didn't get it, get it. But there's my makeup. There's my makeup. I don't plump anything up, but my lips do look, I would say, fuller, but that's just a matter of shadowing and lip liner. I think lip liner is the biggest takeaway, is if you're wanting fuller structured lips, lip liner, and then you can fill them in and you can do all the other things. You can add lightness to them and add more of a pout. I've seen other people do that. Should we try it? Pat down the gloss, add a little bit of concealer to my finger, and then you just put it, I don't know. Do you, boo? All right, that's it. That's my makeup on Monday. I feel like I don't look like a different person, but I got maximum coverage over my scarring, my hyperpigmentation, my active breakouts, and I don't have a pound of makeup on. I have probably the most makeup on is down here with the concealer, but everything I put on after my concealer had a lot of intention in the colors I pick. So if you want bold blushes, you're going to need a buddy. If you want to have that blush that's going to possibly pull through your, if it has a deep orange tone, it has a redness to it, it's going to pull scarring and hyperpigmentation through. Pair it with a light peach and let them work together. It's going to need a buddy. That's just the way the world works when it comes to this stuff. If you're looking for skincare that's going to remove any discoloration, it's just not going to happen. I think the products will help combat it to keep it from getting darker, because I still have my stuff. I've been using this skincare that says it would take it away. I've done the pictures. There's good days, there's bad days. If you're looking for a skincare, the ones that will help, that say they're going to get rid of it, are just the ones that are going to help keep it where it is. I don't think my stuff is worse. I just think it's the same. And I feel like my skincare helps with that. But also, I'm getting older. My skin's not going to stay the same. And so I need to work with the skin I have. A lot of people don't get to be our age. 45, some people want to be 45 and they're not going to get to be. So enjoy the skin you're in because you're blessed. And learn that you don't need to have a pound of makeup on to get the coverage you want. You can have your makeup make you feel your best, even at noon, even at 4 p.m., and you don't need to do a lot of work just to fix it back up. All right, so if you want to talk about makeup, let's chat. Message me. There's a link in the description. I can color match you for Beauty Society. I can color match you for Saint. Next Monday, I will be here with all of Saint. I'm going to be sharing more Saint than Beauty Society. If you want to be on my Beauty Society list, let me know in a message. I will put you on my list. I'm still here sharing it, just I don't like the spammy that they push, and I cannot. So that's it. I will see you next Monday. Have a great day.